The time is now. On everything. Took my heart away from money. I ain't interested in fame. And I pray that never change. Ambition is priceless.
How I came to the D2, it was my senior year of high school, and I had a couple teams contact me that were D1 AA. One in particular, the team wanted me to wait for another guy to sign, and if he didn't sign, they wanted me to sign after that. So me and my family talked about it, and we didn't want to go that route. We didn't want to sit there and wait for another guy to sign. So my older brother already signed to Western New Mexico, and so he kind of plugged me in, and he coached like my film. And then after that, I came up for a visit. Then right there on the visit, I signed because I knew I wanted to go to a university instead of going to JUCO or take that route. So as I got here, they said I would play as a freshman, and from game 6, I believe, I came in, took the guy's spot, and started from there on. So like getting to this D2 wasn't really my first, second, or third choice. It kind of just happened to fall in my lap because I had other schools contacting me, D1s, D1 AA's, but and as in high school, my grades were bad, so other teams, other D1 schools and other D1 AA schools kind of shied away from me. So as a last kind of resort, I don't want to say last resort, but like I said, it kind of fell into my lap. My brother came here, and then as I started to come, as my brother was here, they had contacted me. They knew that I played football. Tia had a brother play football, blah blah blah. And then after that, it all kind of fell in my lap, and then that's how I decided to come to a D2. So out of high school, I came to a D2. I finished all my 4 years, and I had to find a different motivation for what I wanted to do. My Between my sophomore and junior year, my one of my uncles passed away. We were really close, and after that, I kind of fell into this dark place. I still wanted to play football, but football just wasn't as fun for me. Like every time I looked in the stands, I seen all my family, and we were missing one. So maybe for 4 or 5 years, I was kind of just going through the motions, and still I was still performing and still like giving my all, but it kind of just wasn't the same. And after I finished college, and I kind of like got through my first year of this football process and not getting picked up, I kind of just reevaluated my life, and I kind of just took a step back and got rid of all the baggage that I was holding on to, like the passing of my uncle, not getting the credit I thought I deserved out of college, and I had to find a new motivation. And what motivates me is the things that motivate me are just every day wanting to be perfect. And people say being perfect is there's no way you can be perfect, and it's impossible to be perfect. But I try to chase that because as I'm chasing it every day, I'm perfecting something that I never thought I'd perfect. So my routes are way better than what they were in college, or catching the ball, or lifting, or all those kind of things that make you a great football player. The second thing that motivates me is always my family, and always like just wanting to be the best. That's always a motivation for me. But other things like people not believing in me, and coming from this D2, you have to have that kind of chip on your shoulder to where if if there's a D1 guy at a trial or a D1 guy ahead of you, you kind of have to give that extra umph for that guy to see you, or you gotta outwork that D1 guy because you don't have the facilities, or you don't have the trainers, or you don't have the field or whatever that the other guys have. So that was the kind of chip on my shoulder. So day one, once I stepped into a D2 onto the D2 campus, the first thing on my mind was to outwork everybody. Like, number one, I was going to outwork them. No matter how I felt about my uncle, no matter how I felt about where I was at, that was the only thing on my mind, was just outwork everybody. And through that, I was able to through just outworking everybody, I was able to excel in college. Like I might not have been all the way there as my mental state. I kind of had a lot of stuff in my mind at the time, but just from outworking and just not being lazy, I was able to perform and be at my best. So through outworking, I was a two-time All-American. My career yards are 2,500 yards. I have 28 total touchdowns and 172 receptions. So that tells you alone that if I was able to let go of some of the baggage that I was, and get stuff out of my mind, I probably would have been able to perform at a better better rate than what I was, and what I was doing was still superb. So, and then I found I had to find other motivations after my college years because I wasn't playing football every year, so it was just me working out. And I got an email from a team, from a scout, and this is my very first workout that I ever went to. And I keep this paper with me just to show that even because I thought that I was one of the best receivers in the nation, blah blah blah. I thought all that of me, and this is what a guy said about me. He is a decent player for sure. Lacks some explosiveness. Seemed like he needs to work on his route running and a little choppy and average speed coming out of his breaks. I seen that email. My parents seen that email. I read it, and I thought that never could be me. I never thought that someone could tell me that I was choppy, I lacked explosiveness, and I was a decent player. Like, I never thought of myself as a decent player. So once I seen that, I knew that I had to put more effort into my lifting and getting way better at my weaknesses instead of focusing on my strengths. So for the past 4 years, I hang this up on my wall. Every time I walk out to go lift, I look at it. Every time I feel like giving up, I look at it. And this was the very first evaluation I ever got. And this is the only time I've gotten an evaluation to where it made me look in the mirror and think that I wasn't even good enough, honestly. I thought I wasn't good enough to play in the pros. Like, no one's ever told me that I was a decent player. I've always been the best player, or I've always been that player everyone wanted to beat, everyone wanted on their team. And to see that, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. And then, but from then on, I set out to be the best player at every trial, and ever since this, I've never gotten a bad evaluation. It's just, it wasn't the right timing for me. And so after this motivation, I had to find another one, because after 4 years, you can't keep the same motivation. So after this one, I had to find a new one, and the next one was honestly, just, it was God and keeping my faith and just been praying and being able to look myself in the mirror and get up and just be like, I know tomorrow I may not be on the team, or the next day, or 2 months from now, or 2 years from now, but every day I gotta wake up and believe that God is gonna bring something to me that I deserve, and keep the faith for it. And so that was another motivation for me. And the last one, it was just honestly just being able to show people from D2 that even though you don't get it off the first time, or you may not get it off the second time, or you may not get it off the third time, keep going, because as you keep going, they keep recognizing that you keep coming back, they keep recognizing that you get better, and they keep recognizing that you have heart. And from a D2, I got a chip on my shoulder, and I don't want people that's from my school or other D2s to realize that after the first time, if you don't get it, you got to stop. You don't have to. You can keep going. You can keep pursuing your dream, because you never know when it's going to happen. And that day you give up, you can get that call the week after, and then you're not ready. So I always pride myself on being ready. And so so just keep going. I just kept going and kept being motivated by all those things. And now I'm at the point to where I'm close enough to get to where I need to go. Oh, man.